19th. My name is Rocio. I am the programming manager here at SAGMI. And today we have Holly Rocks from SanMar. She is a member of the SanMar training department, otherwise SanMar University. She is responsible for training the company's 400+ inside and outside sales representatives on SanMar's full portfolio of apparel, bags, caps, and accessories. Holly also travels the country to meet with and train SanMar customers, sharing her extensive knowledge and industry experience. Her goal is to help them find the right products for their customers while learning more about industry and apparel trends. She has worked at SanMar for 9 years. She earned her bachelor's degree in marketing from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. In her free time, she enjoys spending as much time as possible with her 2 teenage girls before they start hating her, which I find hard to believe.
That's
Holly,
very sweet.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for doing this wonderful presentation on Spring 2015 Fashion Trends.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you about trends. We have our own special department here in our merchandising team that really does kind of search through all of these trends. We have probably 2 trend reports that come out every year. We are really, it's also really great because we put them on SanMar.com. So all of this information will be right there on SanMar.com for you to talk about. And my role is not just to talk about the big trends that are going on, but how does it relate to product in the promotional products industry? Because we can talk all day long about these fashion designers and what's going on in London and Paris and New York during Fashion Week, but if it doesn't translate to product that you guys are going to be selling and looking at every day and your customers, really there's no point. So that's really my goal today, is to talk macro trends, but then bring it down to a level that everybody will be able to understand. Please know that you can type in questions at any time, and there'll be an interruption and we can kind of talk about any answers that I may have for you. You can also wait till the end because we'll have some time also to do a QA session also. So let's get started. So again, this is the 2015, early 2015 trend report. So we're looking at, you know, kind of this early spring and summer trends. So what I want to start doing is talking about macro trends. So macro trends are really trends that kind of foreshadow what the smaller trends will be. It creates a direction to follow and kind of explaining where these trends are coming from. So macro trends end up being a distillation of larger social movements. So you'll see influences in different things like space exploration and global events that are happening. Some work of cutting-edge artists will also make their way into fashion trends. Scientific discoveries, innovative technology, all of those kind of guide these big macro trends. And we'll kind of break it down a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean by some of these social movements we're seeing. And our choices of what to buy and to wear are really guided by these ideas. So the first macro trend is called sporting luxury. And sporting luxury is actually a macro trend that's been around for a few seasons already. So let's talk a little bit about what we saw in 2014 to see where that influence has come from. So with the Olympics and world sporting events such as the World Cup, the marketplace tends to get more saturated with crossover activewear. Also, retail brands like Zara, H&M, The Gap, Uniqlo, Stella McCartney, all of these designers are actually jumping into the activewear market. And that is then elevating this design aesthetic. So a higher design aesthetic is being created, and you either have to increase your design aesthetic as a manufacturer of clothing, or you then will kind of lose out. What we see is what happens in retail is what a lot of your customers want to relate to, or your customers do relate to. So they want to wear uniforms or wear clothing that they recognize their friends wearing, or they recognize they can see it in the mall. And oh my gosh, yeah, the double pocket or denim is back and I saw it at the Gap, or this Stella McCartney's now getting into workout wear. So there's all kinds of things, and they want to be able to.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
I apologize about that, guys. I have not started the audio on this whole entire thing. Jeez. I got so excited about working with you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. All right, so then the next thing that was happening last year, and we saw it a lot, is that higher functionality is also being demanded of each piece. So the expectation is that I can put it on in the morning, even exercise in it, and then go to work if I desire to. And there's technology there that's able to offer me all of that flexibility in the clothes that I wear. So we're going to call this season, this springtime, Sporting Luxury 2.0. So we're going to talk a little bit about where we've come, how some of our differences have changed, and what we're seeing now for the springtime. So athletic wear of today equals technology plus a little bit of glam and tailored look. So let me explain a little bit about what I mean by this. So this picture that's coming up was actually from an Instagram site that's dedicated entirely to a trend, and that trend is called athleisure, which is a new way of life that's really emerging. It's all about activewear that goes from the gym to work and back again with ease and comfort, and then you've got some really nice clean looks as well. You can also see elegant colors as well as really elegant cuts kind of define this new sophisticated kind of tailored look in athletic wear. This is a new piece that we brought out. It's an OGIO Endurance Fulcrum mid-layer fitness gear piece. Also, part of the reason why this sporting luxe trend has stayed so strong is really because of this movement. The deep desire to be fit for life is really creating the need for a much larger, more diverse wardrobe of athletic wear than ever before. I'm sure most of us can relate to this. In the area of decoration, we're also seeing tone-on-tone branding. We're seeing white on white a lot, but we're also seeing like black on black. But the difference is you see kind of a matte with a shine that is added together. So it gives just the right amount of visual interest, as the light hits it, but it's not in-your-face type of decoration. This little nail, this nail trend, I started seeing last year as well. Again, having two teenage daughters, I kind of know what's going on in the fashion world as well. So they're now coming out with these matte nail polishes that then you can add just like a shine at the top. So it's a matte base, and then just at the tip, or they'll add a little flower just in the shiny stuff. So we're seeing that kind of tone-on-tone, even when it comes to kind of nails and fashion accents, etc. Another thing that we're seeing is metallic accents. And what I mean by this is right here you see like liquid metal accents are really an important part of this elevated sport look. We've got just tennis shoes right here. Again, an Instagram page that is dedicated just to sneakers, and it's Sneaker Life, so you see just typical traditional sneakers with gold toes. Also, we see that many customers want a little bit more bling and shine. You're going to see that the bling and the shine in what they're wanting to have decorated, to have them stand out is a really big deal. Here we have a piece that is a district made style that's created by SanMar. We added some studs, some blingy studs on the shoulders. So we already started that kind of first base layer for everyone to then go ahead and develop the decoration to kind of work well with the bling on the shoulders. We're also seeing collegiate influences with the sporting luxury trend. This is not new. This isn't slowing down either. In fact, it's really gaining momentum. So look for Letterman stripes to play a big part of the styling of this trend in vintage jerseys, oversized Letterman's jackets. Yep, that is Riri right there. And classic rugby shirts. For decoration, collegiate numbers are still a big deal in graphics and really can relate to this trend. The next three pieces I want to kind of talk about, we call it 19th hole lux, which you kind of can relate to, you know, a green grass golf club. But what we're seeing is the line between kind of core performance, so moisture-wicking, odor-fighting type of product, and sophisticated day wear tends to kind of blur as these luxe-style details are designed into technical fabrications. So you can see the top piece is the ladies' leveler by Ogio. It's got some nice dome and sleeves, a nice open placket. Also has ruching on the side at the waist to help kind of cover and deflect any imperfections. Also the ladies' linear has that same kind of ruching on the shoulders. And then we've got reflective accents on this really lightweight quarter zip that, again, works both outside and inside as a great mid-layer piece. So what I've done is there are many ways to style this important sporting luxury trend. So here's a few ideas that popular magazine editorials have offered up. So GQ magazine actually had an article about the rules of layering. And I just saw an article in, I can't remember, one of the trade magazines that was talking about you know, when you're offering styles to customers, offer layered styles to them because they can see it put together as kind of a final piece as opposed to just having to make those connections themselves. So here we have kind of on the left-hand side a corporate casual sort of look. So we've got a Super Pro Oxford shirt as the base, a updated denim jacket with more modern styling and stitch detailing. And then you just add an all-weather lightweight jacket in a really bright contrasting color to kind of add that visual pop. So all three of those pieces can be found with most manufacturers and suppliers of product in this industry. So you can see how that trend can really work well for those trendier corporate kind of hipper, younger kind of styles. And it would also work in a nice, more elevated style because the guy is actually wearing a tie with it as well. The next one, we have kind of a more casual everyday or weekend look. You could also pair it with things other than knit bottoms and certainly wear this to work. So we're starting with kind of a hipper, trendier four-pocket jacket created with a really nice innovative fabric. Marled hoodies tend to bring an extra layer of color interest to an otherwise pretty simple styling. And we're seeing a lot of nautical stripes and camouflage are really top pattern choices for this look. And then, of course, finish this look with knit bottoms. You could also finish it with a little bit more baggy or a khaki. Heather fabrics do tend to pair textures with patterns for really some nice on-trend styling. For her, we're going to see, again, two new styles. Both of them are from, I can't remember what magazine. That's terrible. I should have that in here. But style number one on the left, oh, it's Athleta. That's where it was. You start, again, with kind of a Letterman-style jacket. We're seeing that super trendy. A lot of gals like to wear them. You buy them bigger, so it's kind of a super slouchy look. On that second layer piece, we have a little shimmer V-neck tee, which is a heat transfer shimmer style on the fabric. So again, you're adding just that little piece of glam underneath this really kind of a truly athletic sort of style. And then, you know, again, the core fleece pant or, you know, knit bottoms, whatever. From the athleisure.com, we're also seeing on the right-hand side, we're starting with kind of that concert fleece in black. What's really trendy also is wearing boxy, slightly oversized tops over really slim-fitting pants. Now, again, this oversized top can also, you know, be worn with kind of a tank top underneath it, too, for a really cute layered look. But again, these two pieces, the two top pieces, can certainly be paired with a pair of dress pants and still be able to get away with that kind of corporate athleisure sort of look.
And Holly, a question from Bobby Bogan.
Yes.
What kind of age group or demographic are we targeting here?
You know, it could be anybody. I think that at first we always kind of think that maybe this is kind of that younger crowd, but truly being comfortable and being relaxed, there's not a I shouldn't say, there's still a lot of industries that are still very suit and tie, but we're seeing more things being accepted in the corporate environment that we never saw before. Backpacks are one of them. I mean, backpacks used to just be a school, scholastic, collegiate thing, and now we're seeing backpacks in the corporate environment everywhere. So I think once performance fabrics had started getting more popular in this industry, more and more people were requiring that comfort and that performance every day when they're working as well. So I hate to put kind of an age on this, but we're probably looking up, you know, from 18 to 45, 50 is really where I can see these styles going.
Great, thanks.
Any more questions?
As of right now, no.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next macro trend, and that next macro trend is called future forward. Now, you're going to see a lot of things kind of influencing each other. So sporting luxury has its way with this future forward. There's certain influences that are truly not necessarily having a lot to do with sports, but they're really, you'll see kind of a combination of both of those, because it's all about the technology involved with creating these new fabrics. So this trend also speaks a little bit to the different ways people are reacting to the tremendous influence technology has on our lives. So for many years, technology has made the way that we relate to each other easier and has also allowed us to save time. We're able to keep in contact with people we never were able to keep in contact with before. We can tell anyone where we are at any one time. We connect through these virtual worlds, and it's exciting to see our progress. We even do a lot of webinars now, even for our internal sales staff. So this is a way for us to kind of connect with our sales reps, because so many people are working from home now. It is an exciting way to kind of connect through these virtual worlds. And of course, we all jumped on the bandwagon, and we see how great these advances are. Saw no downsides at all, but now we're kind of seeing, along with all this technology, comes living a life in a fishbowl. So there's kind of a need to somehow want to escape from prying eyes and ears, so to somehow camouflage ourselves, but not necessarily in the traditional sense. So camouflage, as we've talked about in the past, has really been a big trend. But what we're seeing is new forms of camouflage. So digital camo is really finding their way into our lives on many different levels. So from sports teams' uniforms, so we're seeing a lot of that in athletic wear, to even pet clothing and shoes, and even that technology gaming systems we're trying to escape from, which is kind of ironic, but this is why we're seeing all kinds of types of camouflage. We're celebrating that digital technology while still kind of escaping from it a little bit as well. Technology is also affecting people socially. So more and more people are communicating via text message, instant message, than actually picking up the phone and calling someone. I don't know if my kids actually know that the phone that they have can actually call people, because they are texting and Snapchatting and doing all kinds of things all the time. So relationships are beginning and progressing on gaming platforms such as Halo and World of Warcraft, as well as online dating sites. So interaction has really become some virtual thing, but humans will always have a need to connect with each other. So in this technology age, what we're finding with our super busy lives is that a lot of people are finding ways to connect and doing so at night. So in many parts of the world, we're seeing this upsurge of evening social activities, usually revolving around fitness and sports, because that Fit for Life trend is really a big deal here, and that's ageless. I don't think there is an age group that doesn't want to be healthy. So I think we see this truly spanning all age groups. So we're seeing night golfing, we're seeing night biking, running. Everybody's doing things together as a group. And also this picture down at the bottom is actually an all-night yoga rave, if you can believe it. So now raves are involving yoga. So clothes with reflective qualities and luminosity have really elevated to this fashion status. Theophilus London is actually a designer. He designs this reflective fabric bomber jacket that absorbs energy during the day, and then at night it just glows in the dark. They're also adding kind of ultra-graphic reflectivity on T-shirt shoulders. And again, we're seeing it in the fashion side of things, but we can also see that our customers will want to bring that in. So clothes with these bright colors, luminosity, reflective details, more and more customers are going to be looking for those ultra bright and reflective details even for their athletic wear. With fitness also being the forefront of many people's lives, we're also seeing more and more urban commuters. So people who ride their bikes or walk to work instead of taking a car, a subway, a bus, or a cab. This growing group of consumers are adopting brands that really do provide great designs and fabrics that allow an expanded range of movement, but have a tailored modern appeal as well. So these two somewhat traditional-looking dress shirts are actually made with a four-way stretched tricot knit. When you add the fact that they also wick moisture and are super soft to the touch, really they become kind of a must-have wardrobe item. So you can see that gentleman, wearing something like this shirt, it's not going to come in and be a wrinkled mess. He'll also be dry and comfortable when he arrives to work. So a lot of your customers will be looking for more and more of those pieces. Also, these classic polos are really made with synthetic materials, enhanced with the silver-based odor controlling technology that lasts the lifetime of the shirt. It is not a topical thing that we put on. It's actually made in the fiber level. So odor controlling technology, moisture wicking principles, and all while still looking and feeling really great, and it feels as soft as cotton. And yet there is no cotton in that piece at all. So look for technology to influence accessories as well. I kind of alluded to this a little bit. Backpacks are getting dressier. They're getting sleeker in order to be worn even with suits. What we're also seeing is more options for these kind of nice, professional, clean-looking bags. But we could find, kind of pairs of. So like if customers want an option, they can have either a backpack or a tote, or a backpack or a messenger bag, and both of these pieces have the same kind of styling and the same fabrics, and so that way you're offering more choices to your customer too, instead of really kind of pegging them into the backpack or the messenger world. You really can offer choices and still keep them very uniform. Also, and I'm sure everybody on the East Coast knows what I'm talking about, is commuting in unpredictable weather also makes breathable, ventilated, and waterproof items really crucial in protecting the electronics that we carry with us every day. You've got seam-sealed zippers on that impact jacket, so you put your cell phone or your smartphone in a pocket or a tablet in the pocket, and you know it will be protected from the elements. That bag is also called the All Elements bag. It is 100% waterproof, so you just roll it down, and inside, instead of just being a big empty shell, it actually has pockets for a laptop and a tablet. But then that liner zips off, and you can pull that liner out and use the bag as kind of a typical dry bag. So weekend biking, hunting, camping, fishing, etc., great pack to use because it is waterproof. And then come Monday morning, you just put that back in, zip the liner back in, and you're ready to go back to work. So let's look how we've kind of styled this future forward look. So strength and agility are more important than slimness, and calories are fuel for an active body and mind. And being fit for life is kind of that key message. So fashion and sport continue their profitable relationship, with sports clothing becoming more thoroughly designed to be acceptable for everyday wear. So here is a picture of obviously a lady commuter. So we're going to start with kind of a moisture-wicking, odor-fighting T-shirt. You can pair that up with, or even wear this little quarter-zip pullover on its own. The pullover has reflective tape at the front and back, raglan sleeves for ease of movement, mesh at the center back for body cooling. It's a great commuter piece, and it's also great for just being a base layer. Of course, the core soft shell, great soft shell vest, wind and rain resistant. So if you commute, you just throw this on and you can stay dry even if you run into rain on the way. And then, of course, nothing finishes up a look as a nice cotton blend scarf. For him, we're going to see that he is also commuting, so we've got a jacket that's wind and water resistant, as well as designed with articulation for ease of movement while you commute. The pullover has reflective taping at the front and the back raglan sleeve, so we also have that mesh insets for breathability. Then you kind of put a nice ultra soft ring spun combed cotton t-shirt under it all. And then this cap is actually a really low profile cap. It stays secure as you ride. But once you take it off, the brim folds into 3, so the hat can slip easily into a back pocket or a backpack and out of the way when you don't wear it. All right, so any questions at all about Future Forward? Again, I think it's a real distillation between sporting luxury, because that's really where we're seeing most of this high-tech fabric coming from, and people are starting to wear it more and more. But we're seeing that technology, although it's made our lives a lot easier, we can do more. I think there's also a time that we still need to remember that there is a connection, and so people are trying to connect in ways when they have time. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about colors and what colors are kind of trending in the springtime of this season. So first we have yellows and greens. Yellow is really bright and energetic. You're getting from warm kind of buttercup shades to even more acidic or even sour yellows, especially in sports apparel. See a lot of that citron or citrus and that neon brightness always being kind of paired with sport, pro sports. You see it all the time, and now even high school and college sports, we're seeing it. With greens can kind of hit a sour note, but we'll see a little bit more pure tones reminiscent of that Pantone color of the year last year, which was emerald. I'm sorry, 2013 was emerald. And then richer, darker shades like kind of a military green are also really important as well. It's funny, I just have a really cute aside. I can't remember where I was with my youngest daughter, but she actually pulled something off the shelf and said, "Oh, Mom, look, this was the Pantone color of last year." And it was like the purple orchid. Like, I'm so proud of you. You actually do listen sometimes to me, even though you may not even be interested. All right, speaking of blues and purples, blue for this season is still, as always, greatly inspired by the sea and the sky. Beautiful shades of blue seen in lakes and kind of tropical waters. Clear skies and dark stormy clouds, they're all really part of this palette. Purple is also becoming an increasingly important family of color. Rich berries and grape tones will also gain market share, and we'll see that even more as we go into the 2016 season as well. So here is the Pantone color of the year. Not necessarily, I'm not going to lie, it's not necessarily my favorite color. I think they've done really well for the last 2 years, and this one, it's Marsala. So it is kind of characteristic by rich, coppery, spicy warmth. So look for customers asking for more of those kind of brick tones in the reds and oranges with a little bit of a brown underbase. Again, the Pantones came up with their own Pantone matching system. They certainly have things. Unfortunately, in our selection, we don't have the exact Marsala Pantone, but you can also see that some of those rich berry colors, the coppery brown undertones, a little bit of the corals, etc., will all kind of truly look well and match well with that Pantone color of Marsala. All right, well, that is the trend report for spring of 2015. So any questions about what you've seen?
No, and does anyone, please feel free to type in your questions. I will go ahead and read them off to Holly. And then Sunita does have a question, but she missed the beginning of the meeting. Yes, it's recorded, Sunita. It'll be on our YouTube channel with sound. So that'll be available. Any questions, anyone? Yep, so Natasha wants a copy of the presentation. Yes, Natasha, we'll send out copies of the presentation. Holly will be able to get a slide as well.
Yeah, what I will try to do is I'll have to put this into a PDF. The actual size of this program is huge. It's like 500,000 kilobytes. So if I make it kind of, less animation and put it into a PDF form, it can definitely be sent out and you guys can have a copy of it, absolutely.
Or if you do have a link of it that we can share on a Dropbox, maybe we can.
Oh yeah, maybe.
They can download it to their computer. We could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that as well. That'll be easier. That way we don't have to form it into a PDF. But yes, I have some questions coming in. Jan wants to know, they're all kidding right now. For the color of the year, is that what you have in Marsala? She wants to know.
Oh, we don't even have anything in that actual Marsala color. I don't know where this idea came from. I don't know who carries anything in this Pantone color. So what we're going to have to do is look to kind of pair it with lighter or darker versions of it. Is really it really is what it is. It's interesting how they choose this color of the year. It's not just in fashion or clothing-wise. It's in housewares. It's in all these different kinds of industries that they find. Purple Orchid was a great color, and it was huge, and it translated so well into so many different elements. I'm not sure how this Marsala will translate. I can see it in a nice, accent wall color in a home or accent pillows, but I don't necessarily see people really kind of going all out on this Marsala. Sorry, Pantone. So you would want to look to kind of get a little shade lighter, a little shades darker, even kind of contrast across the color wheel, finding some pieces that just will connect with it.
I mean, I hate to say it, but the only time I've heard Marsala is over at the restaurant.
Exactly. Isn't that a wine?
It's chicken Marsala. It's made with a wine sauce. And
there you go. Well, so see, even chickens like it.
I have another question from Sunita. She wants to know, how does the glow-in-the-dark fabric work? Chemicals are they used, and how long will it work for?
It's reflective technology. So just like when you've got like ANSI certified clothing, where you've got these, 3M makes this kind of reflective taping that can be added to product. You can find reflective fabrics that don't change with washing. It is the fabric itself. It's not anything you paint on. And so you'll see a lot of this OGIO Endurance product, we have pops of, like all of the OGIO, it's heat transferred, so it'll stay on, but all of the OGIO branding is all reflective. So anytime you turn the wrist, even a little bit here, you'll be able to see it, and it doesn't wear off at all. Now the luminosity on that Theophilus London guy, I am not sure how successful that is, or, all I know is the jacket is about $500, $600, so wow. I hope it lasts a long time. Yeah.
Even better.
But it's interesting, too. I'm even seeing, with all of this technology, I think Ralph Lauren even came out with a T-shirt that one of the ball boys was wearing during the Wimbledon. And what it does is it has monitors inside, and it monitors their heart rate and their blood pressure and their pulse rate. It is crazy what is happening now when you get into super high-tech performance clothing. How you wash that, I have no idea. But again, I think on the retail side of things, it's more the coolness of it as opposed to actually how usable it is. But here in our industry, our customers need to use it. And so, it can be all great and cool, but if it doesn't wash well or it doesn't make it through, the screen printing that with that heat applied for curing, etc., it's not going to matter at all.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So another question from Gil Lindsay. How does this color discussion apply to the uniform programs? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, I think, and it may not. Uniform programs tend to be uniform because they're going towards specific colors. Now, one thing that you will see is when we talk about yellow and green, regardless of what the school colors are, those pops of that bright neon color and that really acidic additions to, regardless of what your school and team colors are, they'll find their way in. So you'll usually see now more of even a gray base with pops of highlight for yellow, and then corporate or school logos can be put on there, whether they're gray or this pop of yellow or something that goes with it. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, it's kind of moving away from that matchy-matchy look and moving more towards things that they kind of can relate to, that, Under Armour and Nike Fitness and all of those companies that we see the athletes wearing professionally. Some corporate environments and school and team environments really want to start kind of embracing that as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Again, Sunita wants to know, what is the best decorating method for these high-tech fabrics? Any special decorating requirements or?
Well, heat is always not necessarily. If it's a polyester piece, we always want to stay away from super high heat. And that being said, with a good decorator, a lot of decorators can do great screen printing on polyester pieces and not have to worry at all, just as long as they understand that it's not cotton. Cotton can take heat. Cotton can take, the curing process, so layer upon layer upon layer with dye, and then cured in the middle and hardened, and then more dye laid on it. Definitely cotton can do that. With these polyester pieces, you really have to be aware of how much ink you're putting in there, how many times it's going under kind of a flash cure. Embroidery is certainly an option, but again, smaller embroidery decorations, smaller decorative pieces, because the fabrics tend to be very lightweight, you don't want a super heavy logo kind of weighing that piece down either. But heat transfer is also a great option. You've got, heat presses that can, be toned down to a specific temperature, and a lot of these, you can get reflective, you can get different kinds of fabrics and different textures, different sparkles, all kinds of different things that you can do, heat transfer on. Doesn't add a lot of extra weight, and as long as that press is set to the right temperature, you really have no issues at all with it.
Okay, thank you. David just wanted to say that the motorcycle clothing industry has used reflective materials for some years, as well as the bicyclists. I've noticed they're always out there, and runners.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely. That bright yellow, are you kidding me? I mean, that truly is. Now, I don't want to, because we're not retail and we don't have our product, tested to the same kind of safety levels that maybe a professional running team would, we don't want to say this will save your life if you wear this shirt outside because of the reflectivity on the shoulders, or but adding more reflectivity allows more visibility, and there's never anything negative about that, especially when you're out in the dark.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. But yeah, I think that was the last statement or question that we've had for now. I hope that everyone has been able to ask their questions and they were answered. Very informative session. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I look forward to doing this again for you guys in August or September when we've got kind of the fall trends coming up too.
Oh, how exciting. Looking forward to that one. Again, this information, this webinar is recorded. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, and Holly and I will work together to get the slideshow to you guys. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or Holly. Again, thanks, Holly. It was fun.
Thank you.
With you. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for doing this, and everyone have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.